Start your week smiling with your friends, Kathy Zant and Michelle Frechette. It's time to get ready for some weekly motivation with WP Motivate. Happy Thursday, Kathy.
Oh, dang it. It's not Friday yet.
I know, I wish. Let me tell you this is so funny. Yesterday, Allie was not feeling well. We were supposed to record the Underrepresented in Tech podcast, and the wonderful Anne McCarthy was the guest. And so a few minutes before, Allie's like, I'm not feeling well. Can you take it on by yourself? I said, oh, sure, no problem. So I always start that podcast by saying, hi, Allie, like this little sing-songy thing, right? So I start the podcast and I'm like, well, usually I would start this podcast by saying, hi, Allie, but Allie's not here today. I said, and I have a special guest today. So I'm going to say, hi, Anne. And she laughed. I go, so Anne, have you ever been welcomed into a podcast by somebody singing to you before? And she says, well, no, but I think they're going to have to start doing that every time I'm on one from now on. So that was
Perfect.
Cute. Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome.
What a great conversation we had too. Can't wait for that episode to air. By the time this episode is out, that one should be out too. So if you're listening to us now, feel free to catch the Underrepresented in Tech podcast, where Anne McCarthy and I laughed and had some great conversation all about the underrepresented gender release squad that's in process right now for WordPress 6.4. Anyway, That's all we're going to talk about. But the way we were just saying, happy Thursday, and it's not Friday. It just made me think of that. So I thought I'd share. Anyway, not using this podcast to shill my other podcast, believe it or not.
We all got to do it. Hey, well, I'll just show the Cadence Beat podcast that we posted the other day, where Ben and Hannah and I had a very good conversation about the future of WordPress and the future of Cadence. And I got to put Ben on the spot a little bit, and then his internet went wonky and I had to do magic to make it work. So
that's it. We're involved in a lot of things. If you're listening to this podcast, find us in all the other places that we operate. We are ubiquitous. Is that the right word? Everywhere. That just sounds like such a good word, right? I love that word. Yeah.
I love that word too. That's awesome. Yeah. And I'm doing Woo Sash. I got to get my recording done. Nice. Let's hope I get it done tonight, but I don't think I'm going to make it. It's due today. And I had another thing that's due tomorrow that felt like more pressure. And these people kept giving me the deadline and like, here's your deadline. Here's your deadline. And I'm like, I got to get it done. And so I got that done. And then I got my dates all mixed up. And then it's like the Woosash one is due today. That one's due tomorrow. Oh, why does September? I think it's like this whole summer thing. Mm-hmm. Like when somebody in August says, oh, that's due in mid-September. Oh my gosh, that's like so far from now.
Yeah.
No. And it just, boom, it comes up so fast.
It does. But last week, so I don't know. I run our social. I don't know if everybody knows that. For this podcast, I run the social. You chime in sometimes, but I'm just like in there running social.
Yeah.
And like, so if we miss a week because like you're out or I'm out or whatever, I usually repost an old episode. Like, we're not here now, but check out this episode where we talked about XYZ. I wasn't even that creative this week. I was like, so we're not here this week because I was on vacation. Check out my photo album from my vacation. Like,
yeah,
I've just been shilling myself all over the place. But it does bring up, let's talk about vacations, because this year I've had a few weeks off here and there, and all for different reasons, and some of them very restorative, others incredibly good, but in different ways, right? So the first vacation week I took this year was to go to Oklahoma City and watch my second to youngest brother graduate from high school. And then while I was there, work with Corey Miller and Lindsay Miller on post-status stuff. So I was there for a week, and it was vacation. I saw some museums. I spent time with family. I spent time with Corey and Lindsay, but it was also a working vacation because I did a lot of things about post-status, and I did some webinars and things like that for other companies while I was there. And then I took a week off in June to go to WordCamp Europe. And so that was a vacation time, but that was very much a working vacation, if you will, because I was there representing myself, but also like just doing all the things, interviewing with people, meeting with people, going to the parties. It was not restful, I will say that. Yeah. But last week I took a week off, and 4 days I went out with my cameras and just communed with nature, took some pretty awesome if I do say so myself, some pretty awesome photos of like I didn't see a lot of birds this time. Usually it's real bird heavy, but um the tiny little damselfly, I got a nice close up of a blue damselfly. I communed with a an 8-point buck for about 20 minutes. I was talking to him while he
Wow.
just kept eating the flowers and I kept taking his picture, but he wouldn't look up at me. So then I would like sing or like, make whistle or something. He'd look up and I'd snap another picture or two. So finally I was like, all right, I'm just gonna let you have your dinner. Those kinds of things, so that was good. I rented an Airbnb. I got away from my house and my, you know, I came back from Work Camp US and my cat had passed away. So get away from all of those kinds of feelings, and
Yeah,
just kind of get out into somebody else's space and about an hour away from home and just kind of enjoy being away for a little while. So it's good.
amazing.
It is good,
That
right?
is
It is.
awesome. You have to do it.
Mhm.
With everything that's gone on in my life, I haven't allowed myself to have vacation, but I have had these opportunities pop up or ideas pop up, and I've been jumping on, okay, well, I'm going to just go do this. And then I bring my daughter, who always makes it feel like a vacation. When you're traveling with a
Yeah.
teenager, it's definitely not work.
No.
um, well, not in the traditional sense,
It is, but it
but
isn't. Yeah, it's different.
yeah. Yeah, but it's cool, like, to travel with a family member rather than,
Mhm.
your work teammates moving boxes to
Yeah,
a booth, that kind of thing. Like, so,
yeah.
like, WordCamp US, yes, it was work, but it wasn't work, I didn't have to stand at the booth. I didn't have anything official that I needed to do. I got to decide at any time what talk I wanted to go to, what person I wanted to hang out with, when I
Mhm.
wanted to take a nap, which I did
Mhm.
in the midst of WordCamp US. I'm like, I think I'm just gonna close my eyes for a bit. I had the best time. And so it was work and it was very hectic. And I wore these cute Kate Spade shoes that destroyed my ankle.
Oh, no.
That was like not fun. But um, yeah, no, it was good just to get away and
Yeah.
to have a different experience because those
Mhm.
it broadens your perception, it broadens your perspective. I'm sure you got that when you were out taking pictures, just like being in
Yeah.
tuned with nature like that.
Mhm.
It just does something to you. It's so good for your soul, I think.
I agree, absolutely. And my daughter went with me to Athens, and
Yeah.
so I had that experience of bringing your kid along to a non-work work type event too. And yeah, but I will tell you because I do tend to work myself, like represent my brand and all of that. Like I
Yeah.
was jealous of her vacation photos when I was technically there on vacation and didn't do any of those things myself. So I have to get better about that. Taking in some sights and things like that for myself. But yeah, it's good. And I'm taking a 4-day weekend coming up here in October and flying to Atlanta and spend some
Oh,
time
nice.
about an hour north of Atlanta with some friends for my birthday weekend. So that's going to be fun too.
Amazing. That's great. That's so
Yeah.
awesome. I'm going to, again, another idea slash opportunity that popped up. I'm going to Cabo Press in October for the first
Ooh.
week of October. I have never, my husband has been to Cabo multiple times because one of his
Hmm.
friends used to do this seminar in Cabo. And so, of course, the husband's going and sending all the pictures and rubbing it in my face that I'm back home. Well, I was in Shasta, so it wasn't like that bad,
Hmm.
right? But still, I've got the Cabo sweatshirt, I've got the Cabo like beach bag. I've got all kinds of like cool stuff from Cabo that he brought me back, as like guilt payment, right?
But no Cabo
He-
memories of your own.
and he's always promised me that I would get to go to Cabo. And the opportunity came up and I'm like, how do I say no to that? Like I'm going. I
Do
am
it.
going and I'm so
Absolutely.
excited. Like I'm more and more people that I'm finding out who are going to be there and I think it's going to be exceptionally good. So yeah, it has something to do with WordPress, but it's Cabo. So how much work is it going
Mm,
to be? I think, see, I love work. I love to work.
me too.
I'm very passionate like you of like
Hmm.
helping people find opportunity through WordPress because I've seen what it's done for people and I think it's
Absolutely.
amazing. Um, so to me, that like
Yeah.
going to WordCamp US didn't feel like work. Going to it going to any kind of word camp, going down to WP campus in New Orleans,
Mhm.
that did not feel like work. I
Yeah.
got to spend a lot of time with Maestro Stevens. We sat and talked for like maybe 3 or
Love
4
him.
hours just about like life stuff. And
Mhm.
I got to hang out at the pool at the Four Seasons. And not, I treated myself. Like, how about New Orleans?
Good for you.
I'm going to stay somewhere nice. And I had a massage, which this was the first massage I have had in, I don't even know how long. It's been forever, but I like literally cried because it was just like all
Yeah.
this tension in my body. I could really feel it coming out and just like, I need more of this. I need to take care of myself.
Mhm.
So it's just like that, but that's what I get
Yeah.
is like, WordPress isn't work to me. The community isn't work to me. That's fun. That's like
I agree. It can still be
exciting. And
exhausting, but it's not
it
work.
can't, yes, yes. But it's kind of like I like the social aspect of WordPress because we all kind of share at least like I'm trying to think. I mean, I love my daughter. I love her friends and everything, but
Sure.
like if I'm hanging out with them, it's like kind of just like peeking into their world, but that's okay. We can leave that over there. But when I'm I mean, it's like,
Yes.
all right, I don't know what this language, this bra, and you're doing too much, and all of these like words that they say, or that's so sus, and that's your ops, and all of the like teenager words. I'm like, it's like a foreign language, but it's so
Yeah.
funny. So it's funny to look into it, but I don't want to live in that world, right?
Right,
I
right.
but the word we all share a common mission, a common view,
Mhm.
common experiences, common histories. And so there's like this commonality of community. That's I think what makes a community. That's that commonality
Mhm.
of experience and goals and all of that that is so just worth it. One of my friends from high school said to me, there's no because, we'll see each other every, like, 10 years, right? And last time I saw her, she's like, something that nobody's ever gonna be able to take away from us? Our experiences, our memories, our history. So even if I don't see you for another 10 years, we
Yeah.
still will always have that. We'll always be able to come back together and have that." And I'm like, "Dude, cheers." It's just too
Exactly. Yeah. I got nothing, but that's okay. No, but it
that
is
was
so true. It's so true. And to like I wish I was one of those people that kind of like even if it was just a bullet point, journaled my like time away, right? Because I think, oh, I'm not going to forget what I did, and I think back to Bangkok in what was it, February or March when I was there,
yeah.
and I'm like, I couldn't tell you what I did every day of like what I did, and now I wished I had. Same thing for
Mhm.
Athens. Same thing for Camp US. I'm like, wait, what day did I do this and that or the other thing, and who did I see? And I really do. I need to get better at that because, and that's my goal next year. That's my there you go. My New Year's resolution for next year is to journal better the things that I want to remember because
Yeah.
I'm not 20 something anymore.
Well, it's so cool to go back to, for me, it's like what happened 18 years ago on this date. I love Facebook for that I can like, well,
Yeah.
14 years at least. I can go back to like when the year that I joined Facebook was the year had my daughter. So
Mhm.
like her life is really my experience of her life. My
Yeah.
experience of being her mom
Yeah.
has been chronicled there. So I have all of those memories, but I don't want them there. We talked about this, like that 100 years thing. Like
Yeah.
it just really has been sort of this touch point, this spark of thinking about the content I create. And since starting my newsletter, I have been writing more. I've had to write more because I made a commitment. I'm going to do this weekly. And maybe it's not every Friday, maybe it's Monday, but I started doing day one. I
Mhm.
download, our friend Kristen works at day
Yes.
one. So it's like,
I should do that. That'd be a
oh my
great way to do
gosh.
it.
Not only do I write in there and it kind of cogitates the thoughts I have that are good for my newsletter, but
Mhm.
it is such a good tool for not just journaling like what's going on up here, but like you can put pictures and all kinds of other stuff in there. And it's not Facebook. It's not, your
Right.
CIA file or is what's doing with our stuff, right?
Yeah.
it's
Right.
yours, right? It's your stuff. And then from the stuff that I write in there, just kind of like free form, then it's like, oh, I want to expand on this one paragraph, this one idea. And that becomes like something I might write in my newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not just dumping like, oh, my therapy thoughts, that's in there, but also like, what do I think about what's happening in the community? What do I think about what's happening at work? What do I think about what's happening with all sorts of stuff? The stuff with the husband, Claire snarking at me and telling me that, you know, all of her friends know that she's upset too, and that I should just like be accepting of that. And I'm like, do your friends have a support group that I can join when you're like this? I need support too.
Please.
But day one has just been so good. And it just
Nice.
kind of, I read this article about the creative faucet. Like it, once you turn it on somewhere, that it ends up just like spilling out into everywhere. And I've like felt it. So day one has been huge for me in terms of like chronicling my life. And over the past few months, I'm writing like every single day, which
That's
really
nice.
helped.
I keep having this feeling like, because I haven't journaled for 55 years, that it's too late to start, but it isn't too late to start. It really isn't.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's never too late.
Maybe I'll
Your
start
daughter's
doing
going to love it too, because like someday, you know, you and I are going to meet on the other side and snark over there.
that. Do they
But
podcast in heaven?
they might. They might. Well, for us, we're going to have to.
Yeah, for sure.
Heavenly motivates.
That's right.
Join us there.
I love it.
We'll figure out a way. But someday we'll be gone. And, you know, I think, you know, like I've talked to my son. I talked to him about like our life up in Shasta. And I'm like, sorry, I was such a basket case. And he's like, no, that was like the best experience of my life. I was so happy I got to grow up there. Like, you don't remember me like worrying about stuff and kind of being kind of crazy sometimes? And he's like, no, it was all awesome. And I like, he has no idea like all the stuff I'm going through right now and all this crazy stuff that's going on in my head now. Like Claire has no idea. She thinks I'm fine, right? Because I'm put on a good face for the kids.
Your mom. Yeah.
But I think it would be helpful for them someday to look back and say, oh wow, mom was kind of crazy, huh?
But we all made it, and that's what's important.
Exactly. But I think that realistic perspective of like the things that we're experiencing are valuable, and I think that they should be preserved. So
yeah,
you should journal.
Okay,
there's my pitch. You're welcome, Kristen. I'm selling day one out here every day.
I love it. Yes, I'm going to download the app. I promise. For sure.
It's pretty cool. And I'm actually paying for it now because of the you can do it on the phone too. So you can like take pictures of stuff and pop it into day one too. I really love the app. I think it's just amazing. So
I'm gonna check it out. I promise I will. And I'll report back to you and let you know how it goes. What I think. Awesome. Oh, I love it. Well, I don't know what next year's gonna bring vacation wise, but I'm gonna make better plans to actually like if I go, like let's say I go to WordCamp Asia, I'm gonna plan a couple extra days to see Taiwan. I'm gonna, if I go to WordCamp Europe next year, plan a couple extra days to see Italy instead of just show up for an event and then peace out again right afterwards. I'm gonna start living a little more. I think that's my goal.
Amazing. I think you should. There's so much to see in Italy. Got to get just beyond beyond Torino, and there's so much. You got to go to Florence, and you got to go to the fountain in Rome and throw the coin over your shoulder. And exactly. What else? There's so much to do. Amalfi Coast, Positano, Sicily.
You could spend a month there, couldn't you?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I spent 2 weeks there. When was it 2 weeks? Yeah, it was 2 weeks. Well, it was a week in Switzerland and then like 5 days in Switzerland and then another like 10 days in Italy. And it was like just the best. Just the best. So I'm really trying to go to. No, I'm not going to say. I'm going to WCEU, whether I speak there or if I just wander around the halls and hug people. I'm going to be there. I'm going to commit to it too. Woo.
It'll be good for sure. Well, whatever you're all doing over the next time, if you're still here after all of our ramblings this week, tell us what your vacation plans are. Tell us maybe next week we'll talk about our favorite vacation memory from childhood, because I think we don't have time to get into all that today, but I've got some great ones. And also some adults looking back on their childhood memories. Like, I have some things to talk about there too. So maybe we'll investigate that next week. So if you have a vacation story, tell us about it. Either hit us up on our website or our Twitter account, X account, whatever it's called now, or DM us, whatever. We like you guys, and we want to interact with you. So anyway,
yeah, thanks for listening, watching, whatever.
Exactly, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one.
Bye.
This has been WP Motivate with Kathy Zant and Michelle Frechette. To learn more or to sponsor us, go to WPMotivate.com.